writing equations from sequences and tables. So we know that we write equations as y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So let's look at the first sequence. I have -4, -1, 2, 5, and 8. And I'm just going to take this and make a table out of it.
Okay.
So since this -4 is in the first position, the x value is 1 and the y value is -4. The second position holds a -1. The third position is 2. The fourth position is 5. And the fifth position is the number 8. So to write my equation, I have to have a slope and I have to have a y-intercept. So let's start with the slope. If I'm finding slope, I'm looking for my m, and that's going to be the change in y divided by the change in x. So I look at my change in y, and it looks like I'm adding 3. So that's going to be the top number of my slope. Then I look at the x values, and it looks like I'm adding 1. So my slope would be 3 over 1, which if I reduced was 3. So now my equation is y equals 3x plus b. So I have to figure out what my b is. So to do that, I'm going to choose one of these points, and I just like to choose the first one. So we're finding our y-intercept, our b. So I'm going to take that equation that I have already, and I'm going to use the point 1, -4. So I know points are written as x, comma, y. So instead of my y value, I'm going to put in -4. And instead of my x, I'm going to put in 1. So I've just rewritten my equation, take out the y, put in -4, take out the x, and put in 1. So then I'm going to solve for b. If I simplify, I have 3 times 1, which is 3, plus b. Then to get b by itself, I just subtract 3 from both sides. So I end up with b is equal to -7, because -4 minus 3 is -7. So now my equation is y equals 3x plus a -7. Now anytime I have plus a negative, I can just change that to minus. So y equals 3x minus 7. So my equation is y equals 3x minus 7. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one already has a table, so let's just start out by finding the slope. Now remember, slope is our m value, and it's the change in y divided by the change in x. So our change in y, we're subtracting 6 every time. So my change in y is -6, and then my change in x is adding 1. So that means my slope would be -6. So now my equation is y equals -6x plus b. So now I have to find b. So I choose one of my points, and I'm just going to choose the first one, 1, 8. And in my equation, y equals -6x plus b, instead of x, I'm going to put in a 1, and instead of y, I'm going to put in an 8. So 8 equals -6 times 1 plus b. So when I simplify, -6 times 1 is -6, and then when I solve for b, I have to add 6 to both sides. So I get that b is equal to a positive 14. So now I plug that back into my equation over here. Y equals -6x plus 14. Y equals -6x plus 14 is my equation. All right, let's look at the last one. In this last one, I have a picture, which is just a sequence. So let's go ahead and make this into a table. In the first spot, I have 1 block. In the second pattern, I have 3 blocks. In the fourth one, in the third one, I can't count, I have 5. And in the fourth one, I have 7. So the first thing I need to do is find the slope, which is m. So that's the change in y divided by the change in x. So my y is going up by 2. So that's the top number of my slope. And my x is going up by 1. So my slope is equal to 2. So right now my equation is y equals 2x plus b. So I'm going to choose one of my points, and I'm just going to choose the first one to help us find b. So y equals 2x plus b. This one is x and this one is y. So I plug that in. 1 is equal to 2 times 1 plus b. So I simplify. 1 is equal to 2 times 1, which is 2, plus b. And then I subtract 2 from both sides to get b is equal to negative 1. So then I plug that back into my equation. Y is equal to 2x plus a negative 1. But anytime I have plus a negative, I just change that to minus. So now my equation is y equals 2x minus 1.